Manish Sonthalia, Senior Vice President and Head Equity Portfolio Management Services at Motilal Oswal AMC is with us. Manish, good morning. Great to have you with us here. So it's all about policy buzz, Manish, you would agree?
Yeah, it is. I mean, a lot of expectations, particularly with budget round the corner. It's more to do with policy than anything else.
And so far, I think the new government and its ministers have been making all the right noises, Manish, right?
Yeah, but they have been noises only, no? So markets are awaiting action. So, the elevated stock prices would tend to move higher when some of these policy measures are announced and roadmap for implementation of these policy measures are clear.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. So, some of what has been spoken about, just some of it, what has been spoken about, right? FDI in e-commerce, defense, insurance. On Thursday, I think there were reports suggesting that we're going to put the environment clearance process online. What kind of stands out in terms of what is the message to you? What has been spoken about? I'm sure, these are the things which will be addressed first, and we'll have to wait for that. But what do you make of it?
No, obviously they have made these promises before, the general public in the run-up to the elections. Obviously, they'll have to do all of these things. And the country knows that these are the problems and these will have to be addressed. So now it is up to the government to spell out how these things are going to get addressed. Intention is one thing, and initiatives to address the intentions would be another. So now you have the president's speech in the parliament, the priorities would be set out, as you said, 2 years of repair and then 3 years of aggression. Everything on these lines would be welcome news for the market.
Welcome news for the market. Although, you said that this has just been noise only, but I think the market is still very enamored by the new government, willing to believe what they're saying. There's no reason to disbelieve, actually. So that honeymoon period is still going on. You'd agree with me, Manish?
Yeah, sure. The benefit of doubt goes to the government for at least the first 6 months. And then if there is a difference between what they are saying and what they are doing, then markets would, bring in some sort of skepticism. But as of now, every word is taken for granted as to the intentions and the actions would be matching each other.
Right, and stocks have been flying, right? What do you make of the market, Manish? Is it getting a little ahead of itself, or, it's all very well?
Who are we to judge as to whether market should be ahead or not? Because the power of liquidity is extremely high. The retail HNI is now getting convinced.
Manish, don't underestimate the power of one, as they say. We are the individuals who make the collective, who make the market, Manish.
Yeah, sure, but things have run up too soon, too fast. But it may just continue like this at least till the budget. Maybe the year-end target for the Nifty at around 8,000 by March 2015 could be seen before the budget, who knows. But, anything and everything is flying. That's a bit scary. But markets can remain like this till at least the budget.
Right. I'll tell you how the market is right now, Manish. I'm sure you've done this exercise with your team as well. We ran a very simple analysis on the CNX 500 group of stocks, and the findings were startling. I don't know if you have a TV screen there, but my voice is getting through to you, and I want your reaction to this. Let's just put those graphics up. So CNX in the CNX 500, Manish, stocks have gone up. 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 7 times. By the way, 50%, 262 stocks, 52% are up over 100%. 52% of the CNX 500 stocks are up over 100% from their 52-week lows, Manish. 20 stocks out of the CNX 500 basket are up over 300%. That is 4 times. 9 stocks are up over 5 times. And another 52% are within between 0 and 30% of their lifetime highs, Manish. I mean, this is basically what we've seen. So, it's incredible. And the stocks are on your screen right now. We're just putting this out. Suzlon 5 times, Punjloyd 2.5 times, IVRCL 3 times, Aban 2 times, Lanco nearly 2.5 times, Jaiprakash Power Ventures I think 2.5 times, SKS Micro 3 times, Polaris 3 times, GVK 3 times, Patel Engineering 4.5 times. I can go on, and we've been sort of doing this from last Friday. Incredible. HCC 5 times. And we also are looking at, Manish, how far away these stocks are from their lifetime highs. And for all these names that I've been saying are up 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, stocks are still down, I think on an average between 60 and 75% from their lifetime highs. Because obviously if something goes down 90, comes up 50, it's still 80 off its lifetime high. So it needs to do a lot more. Not to say that that's the upside, but just to put things in perspective, how badly damaged and beaten down these names were. How do you look at this rally that we've seen, Manish? This broad rally.
See, Prashant, this is the dilemma for fund managers. The BSE 200 and the BSE 500 have a number of these scripts. But if you look at the FII participation in the mid-cap category as a whole, it has gone up marginally, from 23% to something like 25%. So obviously, all of these names, which are a part of so-called within quotes, the junk category, is being fueled by the retail public. The retail has now got convinced that the golden times for the country are back, so anything and everything is going to go up. Believe me, put your hand on your heart, and you will come to know that most of these companies are broke. But that's the sentiment, and a lot of time and effort and help will be required from the banks to restructure the broken balance sheets. But the stocks just defy the fundamentals, whether you follow the crowd. But because every day these stocks just go up 8-10% without any rhyme or reason. So yeah, that sort of a trade is there, but I would say that one should resist one's temptation to get into these names unless and until you see some fundamentals backing them. That's some time away, and out of 10 names, maybe 1 or 2 will get repaired in terms of their balance sheet, and not to speak about their P&L going forward. But it's all about sentiment. It's all about that, as if Mr. Modi has a magic wand and everything in the economy is going to get solved. But so I would read like that. I would, want to resist the temptation to get pulled into most of these names.
Yeah. Ownership but who's doing most of the buying, Manish, according to you? I mean, the list of stocks that I mentioned, you think you said institutional investors are still in a dilemma, right? I mean, what to do with them?
Absolutely. I mean, I would be very surprised if the institutional investors would be buying into some of these names, but it is the retail, the HNI, so-called speculative category who wants to make quick money in and out. So it's a greater fool theory that is working in the case of penny stocks and it's broken down names. You buy and then you expect a bigger fool to buy it from you. That sort of a trade is playing out, at least in the small cap category.
Hold on, Manish. I have to take a quick commercial break. Just coming back. Stay with us. Manish Suntalia from Motilal Oswal AMC is with us. Manish, just to sort of continue with our line of discussion, do some of these stocks after the rallies that they have become investable? Not because they've rallied, but only because, it crosses a certain market cap threshold, which is necessary. There is a certain amount of liquidity which is necessary for institutional investors to own these names. And, a lot of these names are stocks where you had institutional research coverage, which, of course, over the last 5 or 6 years was dropped when these stocks got to being a fraction of their highest values. But, they were covered at one point. You think they can sort of really revive from an institutional point of view? Because that's the big money.
See, Prashant, actually what is happening is that one is this retail HNI, which is fueling the rally in the mid cap and the BSE 200 and 500 names. Second is people taking a top-down approach. Let's say an institutional investor wants to take a allocation to India, and he's more convinced about the mid-cap category, since as a basket they were undervalued to the large-cap peers. So if you take a top-down approach and you go ahead and buy the mid-cap index, then you in fact are going to buy everything. And you know that the price impact in these mid-cap, because of liquidity, etc., is so high that the price impact you see on the screen is maybe because of top-down approach being followed in many of these names. The end point is, if fundamentals don't follow these names, the stock prices are not going to remain at elevated levels. And most of these names, there could be definitely exceptions to the rule, but it's either going to take a long time, or it is an impossible thing to fix some of the business models, balance sheets, P&L. Well, it's a hope trade that's getting played out, and somebody is going to get trapped.
So you think it's unsustainable, Manish?
Absolutely. Most of the names are going to see lower levels, because I don't see how the fundamentals of most of these companies, currently there are no earnings whatsoever, and you are seeing these stocks move 5, 6, 7 times. It's something crazy.
Yeah, I just want to mention the names again, if we can put the graphics up. Manish, just tell me if there is a name or two which really merits this kind of move, or where there is hope of earnings revival, or operating leverage, financial leverage. Something playing out. So on your screen, and I'm reading this out for you, Manish. Orbit Corp, Unitech, you got Bajaj Hindustan, Suzlon, you got Punjloyd, IVRCL, Aban Offshore, you got Lanco, Indiabulls Real Estate, Jaiprakash Power, DLF, SKS Micro, Polaris, GVK Power, Patel Engineering, NCC, Reliance Capital, Dishman Pharma, Brigade, Jaiprakash Associates, Dhanalakshmi Bank, HCC, India Cements, Syntex, Reliance Infrastructure, JP Infra, Steel Authority of India. We've excluded a long list of other stocks, which really are penny names, which came up on our screen, but we excluded them. Simplex Infra, BEML, some of the other names. Manish, you want to take a shot at any of these names?
See, I don't want to get into specific names, but what I can tell you, if most of these companies were to revive, then the hit is going to come to the banks. It's as simple.
That's a nice way to put it. So is that the way forward, Manish? Oh, that's tongue in cheek. But is that the way forward?
In between, you have to revive these names. Then it would be somewhere in the in between. Banks are going to take some hit. Some of these companies will have to come with more capital, etc.
Yeah. We're already seeing a lot of fundraising, right? QIPs, actually, placement, offerings, always happens in a bull market, and we'll see more. You think that will help to a large degree in this deleveraging exercise? But earnings still have to come, I guess.
You see, Prashant, whenever there is a bubble in the making, then there is a pin lying somewhere. Okay. So the capital raising now, people are talking about raising of 50,000 crore worth of equity in the next 6 months. IPO pipeline is already ready. You have a whole lot of PSU banks ready to, up their tier 1 capital. So all of a sudden, you'll have a whole lot of paper being issued in the markets. Maybe that will put some sort of brakes to the market. But how and when that thing is going to play out, I don't see that sort of thing actually playing out before the budget. Definitely after the budget, it will be another ball game as to what policy measures have come and how things move. But there'll always be this thing that as markets move higher, there'll be a lot of capital raising, and one needs to be cautious about the entire situation, starting now until then.
Okay, needs to be cautious. So what is your roadmap for the market, Manish? What do you sense? You think we'll continue to head higher, or there will be a period of consolidation which is much required?
No, obviously, markets can't keep on going 300, 400 points day in and day after day. So obviously, some sort of rational approach needs to be taken and not get too euphoric. My sense is if we move beyond 8,000 on the Nifty, things would tend to get slightly euphoric. For the immediate short term, one needs to keep a cool head, buy into quality stocks only, even if they deliver less returns. The journey of the markets is bullish. The outlook is quite bullish for next 3, 4, 5 years. But one needs to be steady because there will be sharp corrections in the markets, and those guys who are actually over leveraged, and this is more relevant to the retail HNI, they will be just thrown out of the markets, the margin funding, etc. We have seen all these sort of problems play out in the past. Whenever 2007-8, whenever markets have become euphoric, you have an over leverage in the system, market just collapses one day, guys lose the capital and they are thrown out of the market. But these are normal ways in which market tends to attract in more capital and throw out people who have lost capital. But I think beyond 8,000 for the next 8-9 months looks to me a bit stretched.
Bit stretched. What are you doing at Motilal Oswal AMC? I mean, are you just sitting still? Are you raising more money? Because we are seeing new fund offers, new NFO schemes, etc., etc. And I think we'll see more of that.
We are not actually launching any new schemes, etc. Capital inflows have been slightly better after 16th of May. So there is some bit of participation. People have become slightly more convinced that equities is the way to go, as opposed to the last 5-6 years. As far as a strategy is concerned, I think rate sensitive, because the next big call which we are taking is that the interest rates will head down, and inflation, already food inflation is starting to taper off slightly, and we will get more clarity post monsoons. But our big call is that interest rates are headed down, and so banks is one place where banks is one place we are going highly overweight on. And obviously, where is the money going to come from? It's from the consumption related sectors, because I think it's going to pick up the growth trajectory for the FMCG or the consumer discretionary names is going to move only after the third quarter. So the impact of which you'll see in the January numbers, not before that. Business has been quite slow for the consumer names because of elections. Now there's tremendous heat. So again, all across the country, particularly the FMCG ones, business is starting to pick up. So year-on-year growth numbers will tend to look more stable in the third quarter. Margins are also dented, or margin hit has come in because of polymer-related increase in input prices. So that's going to have an impact on margins. Most of these companies are actually mitigating that through ad cuts. But on an overall basis, the growth trajectory for the consumer names looks slightly muted. So, the money is coming from these sectors and moving into the rate sensitives. particularly the autos and the banks.
Autos and banks. Okay, fair enough. Those are the two focus areas and some rotation out of some of the other names. So Manish, it's a pleasure to talk with you. Thanks very much for coming on.
Thanks, Prashant.
Thanks as always. Appreciate it. Manish Sontalia at Motilal Oswal AMC with his thoughts. RCOM has introduced a new scheme, a new plan. So it's called the One India, One Rate plan. That's the information that is coming through right now. Stock did spike up a little bit. There's one rate for roaming, local calls as well as STD calls. We'll try and get a RCOM representative on the phone line to get more details on this one. But this is the news flow coming in right now. Take a break. We're back in 2, more on the other side.